Well, thanks for coming out for our first press conference of the year, everyone. As you know, we extended our relationship with Russell this morning. Robbie Davis and Skip Nickel are available if you have questions with them following the press conference. I'll turn it over to Coach for an opening statement and we'll take questions.
Okay. First off, I also, too, would like to thank Russell for our continued relationship and their commitment to us over the next years and all they do for their community and also for WKU Athletics. Getting on to the season, we're excited. It's that time of the year. I think everyone is looking forward to football season started. I know our team is. We've put a lot of hard work in over the course of the spring and the summer and now into fall camp. I feel like our guys have worked hard. They're ready to go. They're looking forward to playing some other teams. They're looking forward to this schedule we have this year, and definitely looking forward to game one. I like where our team is at right now. I like our attitude. I like the work ethic, and I think we're hungry. And I think we're going to have to be in order to win. And I think we're going to have to play at a high level, execute. And do that each and every week in order to have a successful season. But it's going to be a challenging year, but that's what you always want as a player, as a coach, as a fan, and we're excited to get things underway. Any question?
Injury updates.
Yeah, we have some injuries, just like every other team. I think right now Brohm is a guy that's been injured at linebacker, our starting linebacker. He's getting back into practice. We'll see how much he can play this week. Joe Manley is an offensive lineman that's been injured. I'm not for sure about his status for this upcoming game. Matt Nord was our starting right tackle who hurt his foot. He's going to be out for an extended period of time. Jared Dangerfield has been out of camp for the last little bit, and he has not returned yet. I'm not for sure when that's going to happen. Ace Wells is another guy that has been injured. And has missed quite a bit of camp. His return is a little bit down the road. So, there are some guys that we're missing, but I like the guys we have. They've worked hard at any point throughout the season, and somebody's going to have to step up. And there will be a few this first game that have to step up as well, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
Outside of Nord and Wales, those other guys will be game time decisions.
Yeah, I think so. Some may extend beyond that, but we're trying to get them ready for this game.
Coach, talking about people, I guess, stepping up and being ready at running back behind Leon, how much of a role does that increase for DeAndre?
Well, I like DeAndre Furby. I think he's had a very good fall camp. He's a guy that when he came in, he actually displayed a stronger work ethic than I thought he would have. He's a hungry football player. He wants to be a very good player. Unfortunately, he hurt his toe. He had 2 toe surgeries in the winter, maybe even into the early spring. They just had to overcome, so we were very conservative with him. He didn't go through spring ball. We kind of started to get him back feeling pretty good at late summer. We've been a little careful with him in camp to make sure that we don't do anything to mess that up. But he's performed well, and I think he's ready to go. He's another big, strong back that I think has a bright future. Obviously, this is going to be his first game, so he might, be a little nervous going in there. But I like what I've seen from him. He has to be ready to go now that Ace has been hurt a little bit.
Biggest challenge Vanderbilt presents to you when watching that film?
Well, I think Vanderbilt is an underestimated team. They didn't perform up to par last year, but I think their defense was good last year. Offensively, no, they didn't perform up to par. But I think if you look at where they're at right now, Coach Mason has taken over the defense. He's a proven winner at that level. We've studied not only Vanderbilt, but Stanford a lot, and he's very good at what he does. And they have guys that have some size and strength coming back that I know he feels very good about. So they will present some challenges for us on offense without question. I think offensively, they have talent. I think if you look at them the last 3 years, I know their record wasn't where they won it last year, but the previous 2 years they were 9-4 both years, won their bowl game. That's in the SEC, which they're playing top teams every year. I know in those course of those years, they beat Missouri, they beat Ole Miss, they beat Georgia, they beat Tennessee twice, they beat Kentucky twice, they beat Florida. Those are a lot of quality wins. And I know that when Coach Franklin was there, they recruited well. So they have good players. And I think that you'll see improvement from them. So that means we have to be ready to go. And I think we have to be firing all cylinders, not only offensively, but also defensively. We have to play well. We have to stop the run. And it will be a challenge.
Coach, those of us in the media, fans get excited about playing Vanderbilt. It's an SEC school. It's sort of seen as a referendum in a smaller conference playing a larger. Does that matter at all to your players or the staff in terms of how you prepare, or the sense of excitement maybe you get from the coaching staff and the players about opening up against Vanderbilt, an SEC team?
Well, I think it does matter. I think our guys, our players, our coaches, our fans want to play top competition. And I think anytime you can face an SEC opponent on their home field, that's top competition, and that'll be a challenge for us. And these are the type of games we need to try to compete and try to win in. That will raise the level of play for us, and we'll raise the level of everyone noticing what WKU is all about. So these are the games that you have to perform well in. It's the first game of the year. It's a big game because it's our next game. But they're going to have some strength, some size. I tell our team every week, they're going to think that they're going to basically out-physical us, wear us down, and win in the fourth quarter. And I'm sure that's what their goal is going to be, and they might have a little bit to what they're saying. But our guys have worked hard to improve where we needed to get better at. I feel good where we're at this point, and now we have to go out and play well and execute.
Coach, Dave Evan also from Tennessee. I apologize for these guys. They've probably heard some of the questions I'm about to ask you, but if I could turn back the clock just 2 years when you first came aboard, could you relate to me some of the conversations you had with Brandon coming in, like what your expectations were? I mean, you were inheriting a quarterback who, from my research, you knew from your Florida days, but he hadn't really performed that much because of injuries and other things here in the first 3 years. So what did you talk to him about those first couple of years?
Well, I think early on, we didn't know he was going to be the starter. So early on, it was, hey, you're going to have to compete and try to get the starting job. And, he had some injuries, some things hadn't gone his way. And, he had to win the job. And, he won the job early in the year, performed very well the first game against Kentucky. And then, struggled throughout the season and even got benched. We tried to play pretty much every other quarterback on the roster before we went back to him. So, the great thing about that is, when you're a quarterback, when you can go through the ups and downs and experience the adversity and handle it and be able to come back from it, it's going to make you a better player. So what, I tried to do, what we tried to do was get with them and say, okay, all we can do is improve upon your weaknesses. These are the things that we need to get better at. And, sometimes it's hard for a player to realize that they need to get better in those areas. But he was a man about it. He knew that, yes, he needed to work on those things. And then we had to go about getting it done. I think sometimes you can tell somebody, hey, you have to get better at this. But until you lay out a plan for them to get better and how to do it and how to work at it and how to drill it each and every day, it's not going to happen. So I think we had a good plan mapped out for drills and ways for him to get better. And he worked hard at it. And I think you could see the improvement last year, obviously, and the numbers that he had and the way he played. He was very efficient. I think we understood kind of what things he liked to do, what he was good at, what his strengths were, and we tried to mold the offense around him. And he definitely felt comfortable with that, excelled with that, and really had a great year because of it.
What were the weaknesses you wanted to really work on?
Well, his first year he had as many interceptions as touchdowns, so we had to eliminate the turnovers, and a lot of that had to do with his willingness to try to extend the play and buy some time to find a guy and locate a guy to allow him time to get open, and occasionally possibly trying to run the ball. And I think, Brandon is not the greatest athlete in the world, so I think he didn't feel comfortable running the ball, so a lot of times he would throw the ball into coverage, force things when it wasn't there, instead of trying to make a play out of it. And we worked really hard at doing those things, and last year he made some very good plays outside the pocket, extending the play, and really that's what the great quarterbacks do. When you look at the Aaron Rodgers, when you even look at the Peyton Mannings, the Roethlisbergers, all those guys can extend the play, but also be accurate when the play is open. And I think he understands now, yeah, we're going to try to design this play to work every single time, but it's not going to happen. There are going to be times you have to make something of it, or you have to run, or you maybe have to take a sack and just don't turn the ball over. So he worked hard at it, and I think that's something we continue to still work, because you can always get better, and he can as well. But that was probably the main thing that we worked on, and he definitely made huge strides in that area.
Anything else for Coach in the room? Anything for a coach on the phone?
Is it Jonathan?
Coach, good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.